Morning, amazing class.
Good morning, my amazing teacher.
Will you please unfreeze the board? Thank you. Okay. Our homework from day before yesterday was on volume of rectangular prisms. I asked you on number 1 and number 2 to find the volume and the what?
Surface area.
Surface area. Okay, first let's just find the volume, because that is going to be our answer for one of our choices. So volume, remember the formula is length times width times height, and it says it's a cube. Well, remember all sides are the same length with a cube. So what is being multiplied here?
3 times 3 times 3.
Now if you said 9 is your answer, what did you do?
You multiplied it.
They added it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They probably added it. They probably went 3, 6, 9. That's my answer. So that tells me you did not use your calculator. 3 times 3 times 3, and your calculator will tell you 27 millimeters cubed. And what do you find out your answer is?
C. 27 millimeters cubed.
Okay. Looking at number 2. What is the volume of a rectangular prism with the length of 6 centimeters, the width of 12 centimeters, and the height of 7 centimeters? So again, length times width times height. So here we're going to go 6 times 12 times 7. And what do we get?
504 centimeters cubed.
Okay. So our answer is letter D. Now, remember, what did I also ask you to do? Find the surface area. For both of these shapes, cube and rectangular prism, what do we draw out? The net for surface area. Now, are we going to be cubing it? No. When we answer it, it's going to be squared. Now, on our cube, on number 1, what are all of our numbers going to be? That big, middle, and small.
3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3.
Okay. And then that tells me that each face is not 3. Each face is not 6. Each face is going to be 9. Why would I say 6?
Added it up.
Okay. So now I go 9 times 6, or 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. And you get
54 millimeters squared.
That's right. Okay. My next one, I put my biggest. What's the biggest?
12.
Medium.
7.
Small.
6.
Medium.
7.
Small.
6.
Okay, and then I find the area for each face. 12 times 7 is
84.
84. Correctly said, please. 12 times 6.
72.
Okay.
84.
Mm-hmm.
72.
Is that it?
No.
Don't forget about the wings. And then all you do is add those two together.
And you get 396
centimeters squared.
Okay. I only asked you on 1 and 2 to do the surface area, just to remind you that volume and surface area is completely different. They're solved different ways. Get it? Got it? Okay. Now, we did not practice for homework anything with triangles, but remember, don't forget, triangles, you got to cut it in half. I just want to mention that. Get it? Got it? My next ones, we're just multiplying length times width times height, and we find out for 3, what's your answer?
160 centimeters cubed.
4, do the same thing.
390 inches cubed.
And then 5, it's just asking which expression. It's not asking for an answer. It's saying which expression is being used to find the volume of the figure, and what letter would it be?
B.
B.
5 times 2 times 4.
Okay, and then looking at 6, which rectangular prisms have a volume of 360 meters cubed? Select each answer. So you would have had to work out each one of them. And A equals 360 meters cubed, and you get as an answer. B was 1800, I believe.
Yes, ma'am.
C is 360. And a lot of you like to stop at 2 answer choices because that's all it's ever been in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. But you've learned in 6th grade, same thing for 7th and 8th, could be more than one answer. So my next one, your answer is going to be 1008. Nope.
No, 360.
Meters cubed. D is also your answer. And then my last one is 1080 meters cubed. Please check your work. So A, C, and D are your answers. Get it? Got it? Okay. So you already have this completed. Please don't throw away your notes so you know what you need to be studying. Get out your classwork for today. And we're going to continue on with volume. Volume, remember the formula for volume, length times width times height. Repeat name.
Name.
So we have practiced constantly with 5th grade problems for our last lesson. You are now going to see a 6th grade problem, and that is what number 1 is. The reason why it is a 6th grade problem is because of this sentence here. It's not always going to be in that same spot. They might have it at the beginning. They might have that sentence in the question. Okay? So what this sentence is saying is that your cubic unit that we use to measure volume is no longer worth 1.
It's worth 1/2.
It has a new cube length of 1/2, and that doesn't seem like a big deal, and it's not, but it does change your steps on solving volume. Used to, it just would be length times width times height, and it is, but we got to find it twice. Okay? 6th grade problems have 3 steps. Okay? Step 1 is to do it the normal 5th grade way. And what I mean by that, the normal 5th grade way, is just to go length times width times height. It already tells you the answer to your length, your width, and your height. It already tells you how many cubes are in the figure, but always double check. So my length is 3, my width is 2, and my height is 2. So here it's 3 times 2 times 2, and you get 12. Do you see up here where it already told you 12 is what's made up of? How many cubes that rectangular prism is made up of? What's the volume of that rectangular prism? It says it's 12 in the first sentence. Sometimes it'll tell you that, sometimes it won't. If it tells you it and it shows you a figure, you double check. Okay? So when I'm looking here, do you understand the first step?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, step 2 brings in that new cube length. Well, what was that new cube length? What number did it say that new cube length was?
1/2.
Well, guess what? You have to, since they changed the size of that cube length, you have to find the length, width, and height of it. So a cube, you know that all sides are the same shape. That shape now is 1/2 cubic inches. So we're going to go 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. The reason why we multiply it 3 times is because we're finding the volume of that new cube length. So when you can tell me the volume of that new cube length, raise your hand. When you can tell me the volume of that new cube length. Well, when we're multiplying fractions, wrong problem. When we're multiplying fractions, I'm on number 1. When we're multiplying fractions, we multiply straight across. So 1 times 1 times 1 is?
0.125.
1 times 1 times 1 is? 1 times 1 times 1.
1.
Woo! You're still cool. Let's try it again. 2 times 2 times 2.
6.
8. Okay, so we know our new cube length is 1/8. Circle it. That's our answer. The final step for a 6th grade problem is taking those 2 answers in order that they're listed. What's the first step's answer?
12.
What's the second step's answer?
180 and 1/8.
Okay. We have to refer back to the last question. What does it want you to do? It says, what is the volume of the prism? Well, volume tells you what you have to do on step 3. You have to multiply those numbers together. Well, when I multiply those numbers together, what do I need to do with my 12?
Multiply.
So 12 over 1 times 1/8, you get 12 what? 12/8, right? Then what can you do with that 12/8? Pick up your calculator and do it. 12 divided by 8 is?
1.5.
And what's my answer going to be? What letter? A. Now stop, look, and listen. Step 3, we look back at the what? Question, and that keyword said volume, so it told us to do what on step 3? The 6th grade way, step 1 stays the same, step 2 stays the same, but step 3 might change when we get to the next page. We're not going to worry about it yet. Got it? But what you need to know is that it might change based off of what the question is asking. Here, it says volume, so it means we're going to multiply. Get it? Got it? Okay. Now, I still need you to be able to determine, is this a 6th grade problem or is it a 5th grade problem? Let me remind you, the 6th grade problem tells you there's going to be a new cube length. Once you've read number 2, give me a thumbs up. Once you've read number 2, looked at number 2, studied number 2, give me a thumbs up. Okay. So at this time, you should be able to tell me, is it a 5th grade or a 6th grade way? Remember, 6th grade says, it literally will tell you, each cube has a edge length with a fraction. Does this one have that sentence there that it tells you it has a new cube length? No. So this is a normal what? 5th grade problem. Write that down. Question 2 is a normal 5th grade problem. Question 2 as a normal 5th grade problem. So all you have to do is find the volume. All you have to do is length times width times height, just like what we have done on our last lesson, like what you did in 5th grade. So I'm literally going to do length times width times height, but there's something going on with my length, my width, and my height.
It's mixed numbers.
So I got to change it back into a improper fraction like you did in 5th grade. Well, 1 3/4, if you can't see that on your paper, 1 3/4 is actually the height. It's fine. You can multiply them all any type of way, okay, because of the commutative property, okay? So 1 3/4, what does it change into? What improper fraction? 1 times 4 plus 3.
7.
It changes into 7 over. Keep that denominator. Remember that? Spent 3 weeks on it. Okay. Are we dividing fractions here? No, but we're just changing a mixed number into an improper fraction. Here we go. 3 1/2. What is it going to change to?
6 over 2.
7 over 2. And then what does
2, you get 6, and then you add that 1.
underneath the 2? So here, I need to bring my new fractions, my converted fractions, and bring them down here and just go length times width times height. And it doesn't really matter which order you put those numbers in, because I started off with the height. So just put them down and make sure you're multiplying length times width times height. And we need to multiply going straight across. So 7 times 7 times 2. 7 times 7 times 2. You're so cool. And then 4 times 2 times 1 is 8. We don't see that as an option. It's okay. We can divide it with our calculator, and 98 over 8, we get 12.25. Now, there's only one answer choice that has a whole number of 12. A. If there would have been another one, let's say that this one said 12 3/4 instead. What if that one said 12 3/4 instead? How could I tell the difference? What's the only thing you would have to do? Just do 3 divided by 4. Put 3 divided by 4 in your calculator.
0.75.
Does that say 25?
No.
No, then B would not be your answer.
1 divided by 4.
If you do 1 divided by 4, what do you see?
2.25.
You see 0.25. What's that?
I just think of quarters.
Yeah, you can, because the denominator is split into 4, and 4 quarters make a whole. Okay. All right. So now that was just the 5th grade way. Get it? Got it? And this is the 6th grade way, because it says the new cube length. That new cube length, how you know, it says it's each cube has an edge length of 1/2. Now again, let me remind you, this sentence doesn't have to be here. It could be the first thing said, or it could be the last, or it could be in the middle. So I want you to study number 3 and let me know. Don't blurt it out. Thumbs up when you know. Is it a 6th grade problem, or is it a 5th grade problem? And you can look back at 1 and 2 to tell you what it is. Okay? 5th or 6th?
6.
It is. Because if you underline, each cube has an edge length of 3/4. That's your new cube length. We're going to have to find that volume of that. So let's look back at 1. What is step 1?
Normal for the north way. Length times width times height.
And it already tells you your answer, but it also shows you the figure. Okay? It tells you your answer for step 1 is 24. And it's probably going to be that, but double check. So it does tell you step 1. What does it already tell you? But we're going to double check. You ready? 4 times 3 times 2. And guess what you get? You can circle it. So do you see up there in the first sentence, hey, it says the right rectangular prism is made up of 24 cubes? That's telling you your 5th grade volume. Okay? Do you need to count on it every time? No, just always double check. Step 2, look back at number 1. Step 2, what do I need to determine?
The new cube.
That volume for the new cube length. That width, and that height of that new cube length. Well, what's that new cube length's one side worth?
3/4.
3/4. Okay? So 3/4. But I need to find the volume for it. So 3/4 times
3/4 times.
and you should get 27/64. Okay? You just circle those answers. Do you need to divide those? Do you need to simplify that? No, just circle step 1 and step 2, because that's taking that answer and you're going to do something to it on step what? 3. So step 3. Step what?
3.
I need to go look back at the last what? Question. I need to go look back at the last what?
Question.
It's going to tell me what to do with 24 and 27/64. What keyword is going to tell me what to do?
Volume.
And look back at 1. What did we say volume is telling you to do? Multiply. So we're going to multiply those numbers. But before I multiply, I need to make that 24 over 1. And then, guys, you multiply straight A cross. Is this a big deal? No, but you do have to study this last skill. I told y'all with statistics and geometry, you have to what? Study. I know you don't want to, but you have now entered the era of math that you have to study. Okay? 24 times 27 is 648. And then 1 times 64 is 64. Of course, you don't see that as a option. So all you have to do is divide it.
And you get 10.125 thousandths.
That's right. And then we only have one answer that has a whole number of what?
10. C.
Okay, number 4. Thumbs up when you can tell me, is it a 5th or a 6th grade problem? Okay, well, when I look at 4, what is it? 5th. Did you see where it said a sentence talking about each cube now has an edge length, has a side length of 3/4 or 1/2 or 1/4? Anything new?
No.
Anything has a side edge length? Nope, that's different as a fraction. No, we just do it the 5th grade way. Ready? So what does 16 turn into?
16 over 1.
What does 1 and 1/4 turn into?
5 over 4.
1/4. 1 times 4 plus 1 blah, 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 is 5, and keep my denominator. And then same thing with that height. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is,
7 over 4. Keep the denominator.
and then you just multiply straight A cross.
550 over 16.
Try one more time. Try one more time.
560.
Just double check. I might be wrong.
I got 560.
16 times 5 times 7. So, or you could do 16 times 35. Did you get 560? Okay, I might have been wrong. So, 560 divided by 16, and it tells you your answer is going to be.
35.
So your answer is letter.
D.
Okay. So you can determine after doing these first 4 problems, is it a 5th grade or is this a 6th grade? So So looking at number 5, study it and thumbs up when you can tell me, is it 5th or is it 6th? To know if it's 6, you're looking for something that says each cube is so-and-so, so-and-so, edge length, side length, new cube length, anything about that. What grade is it?
6.
Okay, and you can underline where it's talking about, hey, this is going to be a 6th grade problem. You're going to have how many steps? 3. So step 1. Oh no, there's not a figure to study. There's not a figure to study. But guess what? It says, hey, that right rectangular prism is going to be what?
48.
Cubes. Well, guess what? They saved you some time. 48's your what? Answer for step 1. Just like they did on the other ones. But the other ones, we just needed to double check with the what? Figure, correct? Okay. Now, so step 1, 48's our answer. Focus, focus. Step 1, what's our answer?
48.
Does everybody understand why 48's our answer? They already did length times width times height for you. Step 2, what do I do? You don't do 1/2 times 3.
Maybe 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/8.
And then step 3,
Then multiply it all together.
which number is going to be written first?
48 over
Because that's step what? Do not switch those numbers around or you will get it wrong. So step 1, 48.
over 1.
Step 2. And then remember, step 3, you got to go back to that question and look for a keyword. What's that keyword?
Volume.
Here it's volume. Here it tells me I'm going to multiply. I am going to multiply. And you get 48 over 8. And that equals
6. B.
which
C.
one?
C. C.
Get it. Got it?
Good.
Okay. So you have seen the first way for 6th grade. There's another way. The first 2 steps stay the same. Okay? The third step, you got to look at a keyword. Okay? We're not there yet, but I just want to prepare you so when we get to the other side, it might be just a little different. Not much, just a what? Little. So now when we're looking at question 6, let's practice. Don't blurt it out. Study it. I need you to study it. Looking at question 6, study it. What is it? 5th or 6th? 5th. It's an easy 5th one. You don't have to fix anything for once. Right? You just have to go length times width times height. Well, here, I'm not even going to write it out. All of them are whole numbers. You just put them suckers in the calculator. If you don't understand why, your length, your width, and your height, so 50 times 25 times 4, and you get in your calculator 5,000 meters cubed. Okay, so you have a understanding at this point. Today's lesson, what you need to know today before you leave is, can you see the difference between the 5th and 6th grade problem? 5th grade is just length times width times height. 6th grade has how many steps? 3. All right. So turning my paper over. Solve 7 by yourself. Thumbs up when you're done with it. Fifth grade or 6th?
Fifth.
Okay, so all I do here, I do notice I have a mixed, so 15 over 1 times 4 over 1, and then
11 over 2.
okay, so remember that 5 1/2 turns to 11 over 2. You multiply straight across,
You get 660 over
and your answer C.
330 inches cubed.
Okay, yes.
I just put 5.5 in the calculator. And
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I want y'all to work it out.
I put 15 times 4 times 5.
It does work. Just remember, work it out though. Okay? You could do that to double check. I know it. But there's a reason why I need you to do it this way, because other problems, is it going to be that simple? No. Get it, got it. I can. Hey, do your next one. Do your next one. Number 8. Question 8. Not 9. Question 8. Question what?
8.
Do question 8 first. Fifth or sixth? What am I going to end up doing with all those fractions? Length times width times height. And I get
15 over 16.
15 over 16.
Centimeters cubed.
And what do I get?
D.
All right. Study 9. Study 9. Study 9. You can get it in a little bit. Okay, I'll let you get it in just a little bit. Okay. Fifth or sixth?
Yeah.
It doesn't have
It doesn't say it in the first sentence. Remember I told you it doesn't have to change it in the first or second sentence. It can change it in the last sentence. Well, here, guess what? It says it right here. That side length is going to be 1/4. This is a 6th grade question. Now, y'all, I need y'all to wait right here. This is where, if you don't listen to this part, you're going to get confused. Okay? So, ready? My step 1. Normal 5th grade way. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that these mixed numbers here have to turn into improper fractions. So this is going to be 13/4. This one's going to be 11/4. And this one's going to be 5/4. Okay? Does everybody understand that? The normal 5th grade way right there. 13/4 times 11/4 times 5/4. And multiply it straight across. Don't do anything else to it except write down what it is when you multiply straight across. You get 715 over what? And you circle your answer. Step 2. What's that new cube length? Worth. What's that new cube length?
1/4.
I do the volume for it, just like the other times. 1/4 times 1/4 times 1/4. And you get 1/64. Step 3, you still do the same thing. And what I mean by that is you take what we got from step 1, 715 over 64. And we take what we got from step 2, 1 over 64. But remember, step 3, I always put what's being asked in the question. Do you see anywhere anything that it's talking about what is the volume? No, it says how many cubes. We will not multiply. We will
Surface area.
we will divide. We will what? So did you write these numbers down? Stop, look, and listen. Quit working ahead. We will what? You write those numbers down first, and then you write the division symbol. What does dividing fractions mean?
You divide the keep, switch, flip.
Keep, change, rearrange, keep, switch, flip. So I keep it. Do not skip this step, and that's because this is where y'all make simple mistakes. I keep it, I change it, and I rearrange it. Now I multiply it straight across. Don't skip the step. Don't, you can't hide. Multiply straight across, and you get 45,760 over 64. Yeah, it's a big number. It's okay. Just divide it in the calculator. You get
715 cubes.
D is your answer. That's the only other way you will have to solve it in 6th grade. You got to look at the question. Is it asking about volume, or is it asking about how many cubes? Volume says to multiply that 3rd step. How many cubes tells you to divide it. You know from previous grades, mainly from 5th grade, how to solve for volume for step 1. You know how to solve for step 2. You know how to solve for step 3. You just have to study, is this a 5th or 6th grade problem? And what type of 6th grade problem is it? If it is one. Okay? So now, look at number 10. One more time. Get it? Got it? Look at 10. Fifth or 6th?
6.
So, step 1, what do I do?
You do 5th grade one.
And do I have to fix anything? Awesome. So 3/2 times 3/2 times 5/2. Thumbs up when you have step 1 done. What do you get?
45 over 8.
All right. Step 2. That means there's a new cube length. Well, what's the size of that new cube length?
1/2.
Do I just leave it as 1/2?
No.
No, find the volume for 1/2. 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. And you get? And here's the only piece that could change what it is. You got to refer back to the question. Step 3, it says how many cubes, and what did how many cubes mean to do? But first, write down your numbers from your answers. What was step 1's answer?
45 over 8.
And what was step 2's answer? And what are we doing to those numbers?
Divided.
And I'm going this slow where you know what's expected of you and how to do the order of it. Do not go ahead and keep change, rearrange in your head. Write it out. Division. Now we realize, oh, we're dividing fractions. Now I need to keep, change, rearrange. You multiply straight across.
And you get 45.
360 over 8, and that does equal
45.
45. So B would be your answer. Now, before we go to lunch, look at 11. 5th or 6th?
5th, 6th,
6.
It says each cube.
edge length,
Look at 12.
5th,
5th grade problem. When we come back from lunch, I know you're going to the bathroom, but you are doing this work pencil to paper. Do you understand? We will go over this. Now, if you are not here today, or if you are having to watch this video, you will need to go ahead and do question 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 for homework, and I will check it when you come back to my classroom the next day. So again, look back at those notes to determine is it a 5th or 6th grade problem, and if it's 6, what type of 6th grade problem it is. So again, if you're having to watch this video, you need to complete the rest of the packet on your own. Look back at how you have to do it on the previous questions. Everybody say bye.